People will be complaining.
I've not pressed the button yet.
You should have pressed the button by now. It's gone the time. I told you it was time, and you should have pressed the button. People will complain. They're going to know you're 20 seconds late. They're going to be complaining.
I'll press the button yet.
Don't press the button, and then all of a sudden, 2 shows come along at once, like buses.
Like a boxer. Hey, binge watches. By the way, I did press the button.
Hey, I see the little yellow thing in the corner.
Oh, you mean it gives it away that I pressed the button?
It does. It spoils it. And the people in the chat start saying hello.
My jape is revealed. Hey, everybody. Welcome. It is the Monday night. And that means it is eModels live stream time. Welcome. As you can see, it's myself and Chris again. Little Ted then.
Little Ted. Oh.
Little Ted. Are we on play school? Not Big Ted, Little Ted. Tedward is still recovering. He's doing all right. He's a little bit slow on his feet, but he's getting better. He's been out for some walks and he's getting a bit better. So he just wanted us to say thank you for all the kind thoughts that you've all passed on over the last week or two for him being poorly sick. But it's just me and Chris again tonight. Hopefully we won't suck too much.
No, only a little bit. No, Ted did say he was going to be in chat, but I haven't seen him in there yet.
Yeah, well, we had to kind of talk him out of coming into the show again. He's kind of like, "I'll come on the show," and he's like, "No, just sit down and shut up, because otherwise we'll get in trouble with Mrs. Ted."
Yeah, so, but I think he might have had a nap and it might have overlasted, and now he's still asleep. So he might turn up later. Yeah. If he does, let us know in case we don't notice.
Yeah, he might turn up in chat, and then all hell will break loose because it'll all go to pot then, because it'll just cause chaos. Welcome though, as always. If you are watching this, it is the eModels live stream show. We absolutely depend on your questions to give us something to talk about. Otherwise, it's 2 hours of me and Chris just talking about, I don't know, pencils or something.
Yeah, pencils are quite nice. I haven't got a pencil.
Have you not got a pencil?
I've got a pen.
I've got a pen.
No, a pen. Yeah, it's a pen. Yeah.
Pencil from my old employer who doesn't exist anymore, so it doesn't matter if I show the URL on the pen. Yeah. So yes, do give us stuff to talk about. If you're watching on YouTube and you've got the live chat, then just put your question in the chat. If you can, please, as usual, because it's just Chris and I will both be monitoring the chat as best we can. We'll probably miss a lot. So if you do have a question, you can pop it in big fat capital letters so we can try and put a whole sentence in big fat capital letters. So hopefully we can see it. If you want to, there is the option of super chat, the little dollar symbol at the bottom of the chat. You can click on that and that will put your question in a big colourful box, and there's no way we can possibly miss it then. But that's an option. If you're watching somewhere where there isn't live chat, you're not watching, say you're watching from a Facebook link or somewhere else, just click the little YouTube icon on the bottom corner of the screen down here somewhere. I have to remember it's on the other side when I see it.
Around there somewhere.
Yeah, down there somewhere. Click on the YouTube icon and that will take you to the YouTube page where you can actually join in the live chat. We do sticker giveaways and stuff later on, so it's worth being in the chat because you've got to be in it to win it. So we'll just dive straight in. For some reason, all I can smell is onions, and I don't know why. I've got a fan at the window and it's blowing in onion smells from somewhere, and it's not right. It's putting me off. I may have to stop breathing for a bit. So just don't breathe in anymore. At least you're not crying. If it was someone cutting onions, then it's not
different, wouldn't it? But
it's not like somebody making food and cooking onions and the smells wafting in the window. It's just like literally somebody stood outside the window with half an onion. It's just what it smells like. I don't know where it's coming from. It's like it's not right.
People seem to be confused that you've trimmed your beard.
Yes,
that was ages ago.
No, I trimmed it on Sunday, actually.
Right.
I got bored of it being so long, so it went a bit wrong. I did trim it to have a nice sort of James Robertson Justice point, real Elizabethan style pointy bit there, because the moustache now is going a bit twirly whirly. It goes up at the end. So I'm getting that James Robertson Justice look. It's starting to form itself. So I thought I'll do a bit of topiary, and I cut it down I had this kind of Babylonian square thing. I was going to, invade the Phoenicians or something, but I trimmed that down to this nice kind of James Robertson Justice point, and I thought I could be in any kind of carry-on film about hospitals now. And then I just went a little bit too far, and I had to adjust, and it ended up just being that. So it'll grow back a little bit.
Well, that's what they do. They tend to grow back, don't they?
Yeah. So I'm going to go for that kind of pointed Elizabethan look.
Right. I wasn't paying attention to the overall length. I thought people were talking about the bits missing at the side because that was last week.
They went, but because this was square, it just looked like I had a full beard, but I didn't. I just had that.
Right. Okay.
But it was down here, and I say it looked like I was a Babylonian king.
I don't pay attention to fashion, as you can tell by my beard trimmage. Is just
no. I tend not to look at other men's facial furniture. Really, it doesn't.
I don't want to know what you're looking at instead.
Yeah, but my moustache is starting to behave a bit now. Still tickles my lip, which is annoying. But
it's starting to go upwards. So,
yeah, it's great. I like it. It'll stick out.
Is that without any?
Yeah, it's just
help at all.
I'm getting a bit of Wilf Lund going on, and that guy whose name I can't remember that did all the model making stuff in the 70s, whose name I can't remember. But yes, it's a bit shorter, and it's also so hot that I need to do something with it. So.
John Newton says, "Did the old company go because you stole the pen?"
Yeah, I stole the pen, and it
they were that close to the edge.
It was a company that my friend set up, and I worked there for a few years, and then it went under. And then I worked with my friend on a spin-off business, and then we all fell out, and so there you go. Don't work with your mates; it never works out. Yeah, right. So anyway, yes, let's crack on. Chris, how have you been, my friend? What have you been up to? I'll do the pointing over to you bit while I have a quick look through the chat.
Okay. I've been quite well, actually. I've finished the Saturn.
Ooh.
I don't think I quite finished it last week, but it's finished now.
A few little bits to go last week, didn't you?
I'll take half of it off because I can't move the whole thing around very easily. But it's all decaled up and it's done. It's finished.
How did you find painting the ribbed bit?
The ribbed, it wasn't too bad. I basically masked off the white bit, and before you do the black, do another bit of white. Yeah. So it sort of covers under, and that seeps under quite a lot, more than you'd expect. But that does help prevent the black from doing the same.
Okay.
So yeah, if you're doing that, definitely make sure. I've got to get it the right way around now.
Just to interrupt you, I do apologise. Somebody just mentioned, yes, the name I was trying to think of was Bob Symes.
Oh, yes,
the guy who had the very Elizabethan beard. It's Bob Symes. Thank you, Tony.
He didn't die, did he? He's still around.
What? Bob Symes died years ago. Well, actually, he died about 4 or 5 years ago.
Okay.
But yes. Anyway, sorry, I was interrupting. You do carry on.
No, but that's that done then. So that's in the back burner. I'll move that away now. Now everybody's seen it. I was going to do my tugs and finish that off, but I thought I got slightly distracted and started doing this yesterday.
You've made a giant polo mint,
a giant hole.
What is this to be?
It's to be my diorama for the Millennium Falcon that I built a while back.
Ooh.
So there's that and a TIE fighter that's going to be crashed that I've just cut bits off of.
Is it going to be a snow diorama, or is that just it's white because that's the base material?
It's just white because that's what colour the plaster and the foam is. It's going to be sandy. It's from the Jakku. Yeah.
Cool. And what's the curvy worm thing going to be? Now, I made the joke. People might not get this, but I made the joke saying, "Is it the thing that you get the pure ferrite from?" Because we've been playing No Man's Sky, so
yeah. No, it's all of my both so far of my decent dioramas haven't been copies of bits from films, but more sort of inspired by. So this one is inspired by the Jakku film from the Star Wars, The Force Awakens.
You just did that thing where you get the wrong franchise and the internet explodes.
And they had that archway by the outpost thing. So it's just a sort of a stone archway that, just because it was in the right general area. So
is this going to be the outpost where the Falcon's parked up? And then
where it's parked up, yeah.
Oh, I get you now. I
can see it parked up. I'm going to put some fake tarpaulin over a couple of bits of the Falcon.
You need to get like a bag. You need to get like a bag of 144 scale little dudes and have them making all the little market stalls and have them. And that'll take you months.
Yeah, that happens over there, which I've not got room to build, unfortunately.
How handy! Just out of shot.
Just around the corner.
There's a whole town that's
I did build the entire planet, but no.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've started doing that. I've got some plaster to put all over it, which I'm in the process of doing at the moment, and it's probably still a little bit damp, so I'm not going to touch it.
Is it squishy?
Probably.
Go on, squish it. Go on, test it. Does it make a noise?
It's actually quite well set. I'm using this hydrocal plaster stuff that gives you 5 minutes of working time, and it sets.
Yeah, I've used that to make some rocks and things. I got like a rock set where you just pour it in the hydrocal and it molds in, and you get a big, basically square of cliff face, and you can break it up into make cliff faces and rocks. It's quite good.
Yeah, and the trouble is quite powdery, so you do need to paint it or cover it or seal it. Otherwise, it just floats off everywhere.
Yes, you have to make sure that you cover up the kitchen work surface. Otherwise, you will get killed.
Yeah, that's why I'm not doing it in the kitchen.
And also make sure that if you use a mixing jug of some sort, make sure it's not one you ever want to use ever again.
Yeah, I've got a Chinese takeaway pot that I'm using, so yeah, it's going to be thrown away afterwards. I'm going to be using this desert sand diorama paint thing over the top of it as well. So I'll see how that comes out.
Cool.
It looks like it could be quite good.
Cool, looks mint. That's good looking me. And I don't mean because it looks like a polo, but it does.
Yes, you do.
That was an unintentional joke, and it worked. Hey.
Oh, Teddy's in the chat. I've just seen him pop up.
Ted is in. Is in. Yes, there he goes.
I was right. He says, "I'm sorry, I'd fallen asleep."
Yeah, we let you off,
Morning,
Ted. You're more than allowed to fall asleep at any point during the stream or before or after. Ted is in. If I meant to say earlier on, now we know Ted's up and around. If you're not able to get into the live chat, which is, I don't know why I'm pointing there. It's there on my screen, but that's just on my telly, so I don't know why I'm pointing.
There on mine.
Yeah, it's pointless me pointing there. I'm pointing at nothing. If you want to send us a question, but you can't get into the live chat, then just send it to ted@emodels.co.uk. Ted has access to the email. And what he'll do is he'll send any relevant stuff to me. I have my iPad here with the questions and that. So if you've got a question to ask and you can't get into live chat, more than welcome to send Ted an email. And as best he can, assuming he's still awake, he'll forward it on to me.
And if you have any questions that you'd like us to ask other people for winning stickers and mugs and things, also send them on to ted@emodels.co.uk. And he'll let us know them, because then we don't have to make up questions and Foxx doesn't have to write numbers on his hands and stuff. And
yeah, it's a thing I've carried over from my own shows. It's great. It's just easy. What number is on my hand? But I've learned you have to give a range, otherwise you're there all day. Yes, we will give stickers away later on, and we'll ask. You all know the format. We ask a question and we have the answer. If you want to send us a question and answer, and we use it, we will send you a sticker for reading out your question. So if you want to do that, send it to Ted. Like Chris said, make sure to send your question, the answer, and your name and address, so we don't have to mail you back and say, thanks, what's your name and address, please, for the sticker.
if you've already got a sticker and don't want any more, then just don't. But still keep asking us questions.
Yeah, just say, I don't want a sticker. I'm going to guess we'll probably get one from Gerwin Moores, because we always get one from Gerwin Moores.
Scale Model Vamp says, Chris shaved. Yeah, I'll do that every so often, because it means I don't have to do anything else with my hair.
Yeah. I'll quickly whiz through the chat. I'll quickly say what I've been doing before I do. I've not been doing a lot. Obviously, as we follow on from last week, Mama Foxx is still waiting surgery date, so we're kind of stuck at the minute. I'm not really able to start anything because I could have to drop everything at a moment's notice. So kind of in limbo. I've been doing a bit more painting in the garden stuff. So I've been working on my Warhammer armigers. Not really got much done. They've got a basic metal coat down and a bit of bronze colour. Tons to do on them. So yeah, not really much at my end. I've got a couple of projects I need to get started, and I haven't been able to because it's been too warm. But now the weather's cooled down, obviously, with Mama Foxx waiting for surgery and stuff, not really had a chance to get anything started. So fingers crossed, hopefully soon, because I've got a couple of projects I need to do. There is one thing which some of you might know, some of you won't. I have a couple of projects that I need to do. Technically they're commissions, and it's a couple of Gundam build projects, but I've also got an eModels build coming up after they've been done, and that's going to be the big I forgot what it is now, the big
tank.
Yes, it's a big tank, Panther tank type G, and it's huge. It's got 8 billion parts, and that's just the tracks. But that's going to be quite a while off. It's going to be quite a few months before I get to that, because I've got these 2 Gumpler to build. So a couple of days ago, if you remember on the stream last week, I saw something that made me go, oh, and I thought I need to have that in my life. So I ordered myself the little teeny tiny U-boat, the little chibi U-boat from Meng. You know, Meng do the Toon tanks, but they also do other things like it's called the warship builder. They have like little chibi warships and aircraft carriers and stuff, and they do a 7C U-boat, Type 7 U-boat. And I fell in love with that, so I ordered that for myself. Now, I've ordered it for myself because I want this on my shelf. But I've said to Pete Mate and James Mate at eModels that when I'm doing my commissions, my big Gumpler builds, between those 2, I'll build this and I'll film it for eModels. So it'll be like a little mini eModels build series before I get round to doing the big Panther Ausf G, which will probably be a lot later in the year because I've got the other builds to do. So as a stopgap between my 2 big Gumpler builds, I'm going to do that as an eModels build series. So stay tuned. I'll give you a quick look.
Are you going to put it in a big block of resin?
No, because I probably messed that up, and I've never done resin. I thought about it. I just probably not. I might change my mind. I won't get it out of the bag, but just to give you an idea of size, it's like it's that big. It's teeny tiny, and it's absolutely adorable. You can't really see that because of the lighting, but it just looks mint. It's got loads of little details on it, and it comes with all the decals in the world. If I cover up that bit, that's the actual decals.
So 4 of them.
It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 decals, and they're all just the markings that go on the side of the conning tower.
Zadster says that model box is bigger than I expected.
It's tall. It is bigger, but it's a very tiny little kit. You can see on the side the kind of shape it comes out. I can't really see because the shadow, but I'll zoom in a bit so you can see where it's in the light. Hang on. I'll use my amazing tool. My amazing tool. There's my face, the wrong bit. There we go. So you can see the kind of shape it comes out. It's totally adorable. And it is in stock. So if you do want to get one for yourself, do grab one. I say I grabbed this for myself. I'll unzoom now. There we go. I grabbed this for myself, but I'll do it as an eModels build, just so I'm getting something on the eModels YouTube, because it's going to be a while before I do get to the big Panther tank. It's going to be months. So, but other than that, I've not really had a chance to do much, given the weather and everything going on. So,
yeah, as you say, you don't want to be starting something and then having to run away from it. So,
yeah, I mean, the likelihood is that Mama Fox is waiting on an operation. They'll probably write to us and give us a date, but just in case, I don't really want to be in the middle of something when it's like, yeah, you have to go now. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Gary Pashley says, hello, everyone. Catching my first live show for a few weeks. Just wanted to send some best wishes to Ted. Hope you're on the mend.
Cool. Thank you for those. Ted is in the chat. Yes, as we said earlier on, Ted is in the text chat. He'll probably comment every now and then.
Yep, he just did then. In fact, he said, thanks for your good wishes, everyone. I'm on the mend. Taking things easy. Hope to be back soon.
Yeah. It's not like me when I'm in chat because I can't join the live show. I just type constantly because I never shut up.
He might be napping between texts.
Sergeant Bones says, when somebody mentioned about my beard, he says, Fox, I am not looking at your manliness, but I have an extremely high ability to see little things which are different. I'll take that as a compliment, I think. Shadowland Scale Model says, Fox, you may wish to purchase some Captain Fawcett's Gentleman Stiffener. I'm going to assume that's for the moustache.
I'm not going to Google that.
No, I wouldn't. Probably best nobody Googles that. Spoogler Addict says, hello, Mama Fox. Please get well soon. Thank you. Let's have a look.
SpittyQ8 says, can't wait to see that chibi sub.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be a while yet because the order of build at the minute is as soon as I can start it, I've got for those of you who know what this is, the Master Grade Strike Rouge Autori to build first. And when that's done, I'll do the little sub. And then when that's done, I've got a Master Grade Sazabi fur car to build, which is available at emodels.co.uk. I got it from them. So, yes, it's a beautiful kit. I've got to build that as well. So,
Sprugru Addict says, Hull 1, Aston Villa 3. I don't know why he said that, but
East 5-4.
Is that football? So, Hull 1, Aston Villa lost. No, it's not. Mike Mountains in says, yay. I'm not sure why he said. I think that's in relation to that. I'm assuming it's some sort of score.
Hello to Dad, Mike Mountain. You won't see Dave in tonight, Dave from Butcher That Model, because he's currently at an Iron Maiden concert because somebody has to go to an Iron Maiden concert in Manchester. And I know this because I met up with Dad and Dave today in town. We had a very nice cup of coffee. There you go, a couple of cups of coffee at a Starbucks. Kenneth is in. Hey, Kenneth.
Evening.
And he says, and it just moved. Oh. He replies to Jamie Bone asked a question at some point. What did he say? I can't see the question Jamie asked it, but Kenneth says
any of it.
You can just paint over the wash with the azure blue or remove the wash with the damp brush. There's no point reading it out because it's an answer to a question that I didn't see. So
I did see a question about wash. Jamie Bone said, question for Fox. What is the best way to do a Vallejo wash on a 172nd Desert Spitfire underside?
It depends what the wash is meant to signify. If it's just if it's a desert vehicle, it's not going to be particularly that weathered, because especially with the plane, because it wouldn't be sitting there getting rained on all the time. It would have some wear and tear. It wouldn't necessarily. It wouldn't have particularly lots of rust or anything like that, but it would have wear and tear from use. If you're doing if you want to suggest just like a panel line wash to just put some depth to the panel lining, that's just a pin wash. I'm assuming you're using enamel weathering products, so you really want to do a careful pin wash there to go into the recesses, just to get some depth to the panel lines. If you're using other things like streaking products or anything like that, you would get streaking because you get some streaking on there. You get fluids leaking out from parts of the plane. You would get occasionally some rainfall, or you get a dew that might collect on the plane and that will blow off. So you would get some slight streaking, but it's more dust streaking and stuff. I would basically say you're looking at enamel products, especially if they're AKs, enamel products, and just I've forgotten what the question was specifically. What was the question again?
It's up there again. I can't find it again. About a Spitfire, underside of a Spitfire or something, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't think you do like an overall. I mean, you could do an overall wash, but it's going to affect the color. And if the color you've painted the underside is already the kind of color you want, it might be worth doing a wash with a darker. If it's to say the light, I'm assuming it's like a light blue color. So, you could do a wash with the darker blue and then go back over with the lighter color to just get rid of the majority of that, because it'll darken everything down. You could go over and dry brush if you wanted to, or carefully airbrush the high spots so they go back to the original blue, but you still have the dark areas, almost like a post shade effect, kind of the other way around. But for that kind of thing, desert vehicles, especially aircraft, you might be better with pin washes and very subtle pin washes. And for things like streaking grime, or any kind of streaking products like streaking grime or engine grime, I actually find if they're enamel based, a really good way to get some post shading, which is pre-shading done after you've painted, is to just slather it on with a brush, because it's an enamel product, brush it all over the part, give it 10 or 15 minutes, get a dry cotton bud and rub it off. It'll come away from the flat surfaces, leaving it slightly discoloured. And this will be great for like sand coloured washes and things. Slightly discoloured, but it'll stick in the recesses and it'll stick around any edges. And if it's a dark color, for example, like an engine grime or a streaking grime, it'll give it some depth. I did that on the little skitter build I did. It was a light blue color. It was actually ammo streaking grime. Just painted it all over and rubbed it off, and it gave a nice sort of shaded effect.
Yeah, subtle is often the way to go, isn't it?
It's what, sorry?
Subtle is often the way to go. Yeah,
especially at a desert aircraft, because desert aircraft, bearing in mind, World War II aircraft probably wouldn't last that long anyway. So especially in the desert, probably the most they're going to get is paint chips, scrapes and scratches from use, some battle damage, maybe a little bit of, a few scrapes and bullet holes, mostly just scrapes and scratches, a little bit of sand collected here and there, because they don't wash them, obviously. So you might get some, if it does have a long life in battle, it might have some paint fading. So you might want to do streaks, but of a light color, like a sand color, and kind of brush them out quite a lot. So it's just a very subtle streak effect to suggest paint fading rather than actual. It's quite difficult. Desert colors and desert weathering is actually one of the hardest things you can do. Snow is easy, mud is easy, but desert coloration is kind of difficult.
Ted says, don't forget your questions for tonight's show. We haven't got any yet. Says, contact me, Ted at eModels.co.uk. He actually says Ted at eModels.co.uk, but it's not that. It's dots.
No, .co.uk. Yes, we haven't had any questions yet.
Apparently, Joanna Hammond has sent a question, so we'll find out what that is later.
Okay. Spruglo Addict says, question, Fox, did you paint your puffin? No, I went to my local Wyville Garden Centre and bought 2 of these.
2? I didn't know there was a pair of them.
One for the garden.
Ah, okay.
Because Mama Fox likes to buy animals for the garden. We've got like sheep, sheepdogs, chickens, all kinds of animals in the garden.
Fake one?
Yeah. Made of resin, and I saw this and I'm like, I have to get a puffin, because this was the whole puffin thing started. So I got Odo, and I got a second one for the garden. And I've had an email. Is this a question for a giveaway or a question for? Oh yeah, we have a question for a giveaway later on. So we've got
one question. Yay!
That's from Joanna. So thank you for that. Send more. So no, I didn't paint him. He's just from the shop, and he's called Odo. He's my best mate. He doesn't poop anywhere. That's why I like him.
I think you should. I didn't know you had another one in the garden. You just swap them around, see if anyone notices.
Well, no, because that one, he's starting to fade a little bit. So, yeah, we've got a fox out there as well that started off coloured like a fox, but now it's just kind of going white because all the paint's coming off.
It's a snow fox.
But I'd love to know what paint they use on these, because they are fairly hardy. I mean, they sit out in the garden for a few years and the paint doesn't just fall off. So, yeah, they're pretty good hardcore paints they use. It's not a bad paint job actually. Gives me some bloke in a factory.
Right, yeah. Spruger Alex said, Ted, relax. Please take it easy. Take it easy, Ted.
Yep. All you need to do tonight, Ted, is just chill out. And if you get a mail question, just forward it to me. Just take it easy, dude.
Yep.
We actually, like I said before, we actually had to really convince Ted not to come on the show. So He's gagging to get back in, and we're like,
Yeah.
no.
Take away your privileges, internet privileges.
Yes.
Right. Bruce Richardson's asked a question too, and apparently Jonah sent another one as well.
Okay.
So we have questions to choose from when as and when. And Zadster says oil-based Chinesium paint.
Chinesium paint.
I don't know if that's a real thing or if it sounds made up, but
yes. We have a question from Bruce Richardson. Remember, if you put in a question in the chat, in the live chat, try and put it in all capital letters so we can have a chance of seeing it, because we do miss a lot of what goes in chat. Bruce Richardson says, evening chaps, question for you. What foam do you use for the dioramas, bases and hills and rock faces, or what do you use otherwise?
Whatever foam I can get. Packing foam, anything like that, it doesn't really matter, because you're not going to be using it as is. You're going to be covering it with plaster or just sort of varnishing it or anything anyway. It's basically just anything that's going to give you a base to work on, a level to work on. The bottom of this is actually normal foam core, so it's just that sort of waxed paper sort of thing, plasticky thing with a little bit of foam in the middle, and that just gives a fairly sturdy base for it. This is a couple of different types of foam that I just had laying around. Whenever I get something delivered that comes in foam, I keep it now, because you never know when you're going to use it.
Yeah. I have used, I'm just trying to select a question so the chat doesn't move. I have used, I've done foam on one diorama, which was the Skitter one for eModels, where I did little hills. And for that, I just used bog standard Oasis foam. You know, flower arranging, the green block of foam, you get foam. I'm locked on, you still aren't I? Green block of foam. Green block of foam. I can't speak. Block of foam that you get for sticking flowers in. You'll recognise it. It's squishy and you can. It's great. I just made up a little hill out of that. Just a rough shape, because when you're using foam or anything like that to block out a shape, it's just a rough shape, because it's whatever you put on top of that that then builds in the texture. Now, some people like to use fillers, polyfiller, bathroom filler, whatever filler you want. In mine, I actually used just normal garden soil, baked and dried to kill off any creatures. Just garden soil with a whole mess of PVA glue munched together to make a paste that I then made and spread all over the garden foam. And that just set rock hard, made a nice sort of landscape with bits of pebble and stuff in it and soil texture. So you can use anything. You can use any kind of foam. You can use bits of cardboard. Some people use paper mache. Doesn't really matter when you're doing a diorama. The diorama is more a case of having fun, because there's no real rules. Once you've painted it and it makes it look like landscape, it doesn't matter what's underneath. Some people use chicken wire, bits of foam, put some chicken wire over it to give it a smooth surface, and then just put,
paper mache or plaster or
Doesn't really matter, because with the diorama, once it's on your shelf or in a cabinet or in a case, never going to be touched. So there you go.
Jamie Bone says, I put my first figure bust in the eModels gallery. Go along and check it out.
Oh, cool.
Later, so you're a bit late for this month. But yeah, check out the gallery. Don't forget to review people, give them your 5-star ratings. Yep. And you're in for a chance of winning next month.
Yeah. We have another question. Joanna sent another question for the giveaway, so thank you. Now, you've not included your name and address, Joanna. Does that mean you don't want a sticker? I know you've already got stickers. You can have more if you want. I do have a question. James Chapman. Oh, it's moved. James Chapman says, question for Foxx, but we can both answer this. How do you do battle damage, rust, or chipping, as he wants to do on his Tiger 2 Henschel? There are a million different ways to do any of those.
Yeah, I mean, the damage bit is, I've done quite extreme damage to the TIE fighter that I've done there, which you probably can't see very well because of the lighting. Basically, I used a Dremel and just cut off bits and smashed it up and drilled holes and just made it look rubbish. And then I'll be painting that more over the course of it to make it look more damaged than it actually is. But starting with actual physical damage is probably the best way of starting. And then you can use paint to enhance it and make it look worse and go from there. Chipping is definitely Fox's department. He's better.
Yeah, let's be clear. When you say make it look worse, you mean make it look better, worse, not
better, worse. Yeah, yeah. Make it look more damaged, which is better than what you're aiming for, making it worse. Yeah.
Yes. Let's clarify that. Yeah, for things like damage, like Chris says, damage, a little Dremel tool It's great just for making little dings and chips and stuff. If it's a World War II tank, unless it's like been absolutely battered, you probably won't have that much damage on it, but you have some dings and scratches and things. If it's a very big scale tank, so it's like 1/72nd, you don't need to go that into detail. 1/35th, you might have some serious impact damage on there that you can do with the Dremel. 1/16th, that's when you can start doing little sort of skitter marks of things bouncing off the tank armor. So it depends on the scale. For painting weathering, for chipping and stuff like that, there are multiple different ways. I personally prefer to just brush the chipping on, which is where you can do it as either 1, 2, or 3 or more colors. For example, if I was doing, if I wanted to do, say, a tank that wasn't necessarily battered, but I'll do something like this on the Panther. But if I wanted to suggest, say, the paint had been chipped away, and you could see whatever the primer color was underneath, not necessarily rusty, because it might not have been in service that long to get rusty enough. But let's say you've got the paint chipping away to show the primer coat underneath. What I might do is you can either, there's different ways to do it. You can either paint the whole thing the primer color first, whatever the real life primer color was. Let's say it's an ochre red, for example. And then you paint over the actual paint color, like the green or gray or whatever color the tank is. You kind of paint it as it would have been in real life. But what you do is, one way to do it is to have the primer color down and then set up a barrier between the primer and the paint you put over the top, and that might be a latex chipping fluid. So you apply it with a cocktail stick and then spray over the tank main color, and then pull the latex off, and it exposes the primer color. You might use a chipping fluid, which is, sorry, that was a masking fluid. A chipping fluid is where you lay down the base color, like the, say, primer red. You then lay down a chipping coat with a chipping fluid, and then you paint on your actual normal paint color, say green or gray or whatever, and then you can agitate the paint with a wet brush or a cotton bud or a cocktail stick, get it wet with water, and you can agitate the paint so it starts to fleck and flake off and chip off, because the water breaks down the chipping fluid and takes the paint with it. The same as hairspray, it's just chipping fluid's a bit more controllable. Or you can do it the old school way, which is the way I like to do it, which is just paint the chips on. So if I had a tank and I painted it like, let's say I've painted this tank and it's got a nice green color scheme, I want to suggest the paint has flaked off around the edges. So what I might do is go around with a very fine brush and paint on paint chips that are the color of whatever the primer underneath that green paint will be. And then I'll go around and I'll paint, I'll take a green that's a bit lighter than the main green color of the tank and paint that on the edges of the chip that will be catching the light. So anything that, let's say the tank's here and the chip's there, the light comes here. So at the bottom, I might paint a green color that's a bit lighter just on the outside edge of the bit that I've painted the primer color, because it's suggesting there's a three-dimensionality. And on the top, I might paint a bit that's a bit darker than the green, just to suggest it's in shadow from the sun. And that's a 3-stage manual paint chip. It's tedious, but it's good fun if you use tiny detail brushes. Takes a bit of a knack to get used to it. The other way, of course, is just to get a sponge and just sponge on paint chips and use that. Or you can combine all three. There's different ways of doing it, and it's whichever works best for you. It varies on the scale of the model. If it's a really small scale tank, like a 1/16 Tiger that's like this big, you could go crazy with all the different methods. If it's like a little 1/35 tank that's like this big, using chipping fluids like a masking fluid might be a bit too big. But brush painting on the chips might be a little more manageable because you can use a very fine brush. So it's whatever tickles your fancy. Try all the different methods on an old kit or a piece of spare plastic, and just see which gives the best result that you want. The easiest one is to paint it yourself or to use a sponge.
As you say, the scale makes a big difference. If I was doing it on a 144 tank like that,
you probably wouldn't bother with chipping at all,
because one little blob of chipping fluid and it will cover the whole side of the tank. So yeah, very, very fine brush and very carefully, but the chips are also going to be a lot smaller. So you can't do exactly the same thing depending on what scale you're doing. But
yeah, the golden rule I've always used is, and if you go out into real world and look at vehicles that have chipped paint, especially on building sites and things like that, or delivery vans, you very rarely get a paint chip bigger than your hand. You very rarely get one that big at all. They're usually tiny. So when you're painting a model and you're putting paint chipping on it, Try and keep that in mind. You paint on a paint chip. Is it bigger than a person's hand at that scale? So as you get to bigger scales and as he smaller kits, you're going to see less and less chipping.
Yeah.
As you get a smaller scale, so bigger models, like 1/16 scale, you're going to see a lot more chipping. So keep that in mind. How big is a person's hand compared to this bit I'm painting, and how big is that going to be?
And what sort of role is the vehicle going to be in? If it is an abandoned car, then obviously they're going to be bigger than if it's a military vehicle that's in service.
Yep.
And more looked after.
Yeah, and decide on the story of your vehicle you're painting. Are you chipping it to show rusting? So you're showing where the paint's chipped away because there's rust on the metal and it's corroding the metal and pulling the paint away. Are you just showing where it's chipped away and you're just seeing the primer coat or the bare metal, maybe even? Try and tell a story with your weathering so you can, you're trying to establish what's gone on. If it's a very old vehicle that's been left in a field for a while, then you might be doing a lot more rust and things like that. If it's a tank, say it's a tank and it's been out in the field for a couple of months, it's probably not going to be that rusted, but you will have paint coming off and showing either primer coat if it's got primer on it. And when I say primer coat, I don't mean your primer coat you've put on it. I mean on the real tank, the primer, whatever color that will be under the paint, depending on the army and stuff, if you want to be that accurate. So try and tell a story and just think what colors am I going to use here? If you brush painting, it's typically whatever color is underneath the paint, and then a highlight and a low light, which are lighter and darker, respectively, than the color that's the color of the vehicle. But have fun with it. It's good fun. Just experiment with different methods and see what works best for you.
Sprue Blue Alex has the important question of the night. He says, Super Ted or Banana Man?
See, anybody outside the UK won't get this. I would say Banana Man, because Super Ted's a bit rubbish. But see, this is where it gets difficult. To me, Super Ted was a bit Walter the Softy, whereas Banana Man was a bit... Super Ted was Disney to Banana Man's Warner Brothers. So yeah. I would normally say Banana Man, but Super Ted was Derek Griffiths and Banana Man was Graham Garden. How do you choose between those two? Skipper
Ted says Super Ted, of course.
Yeah,
but he would. And I think Zedster's got the correct answer. He says Danger Mouse.
Yes. And I have to say, if you haven't watched the new Danger Mouse, other cartoons are available, not affiliated, but if you haven't watched the new Danger Mouse that came out, I think last year and the year before, you have to watch it, because you'll do two things. First of all, you'll realize how badly drawn the original Danger Mouse was. It was terrible. Go back and look at the original Cosgrove Hall. It's like, wow, it really was bad. It's beautifully drawn, but it's just great. It's very funny, and it's got Stephen Fry in it.
I haven't watched any of that yet. I'll have to dig that out.
It's very good. It's very well, it's beautifully drawn, and it's quite funny. And it's got Stephen Fry in it as Colonel K. So
I can't go far wrong, can you?
Yeah, but he's right. Danger Mouse basically is the right answer.
Ted does actually answer on the chipping. He says, remember to think of what damage would be to different thicknesses of metal.
Yep.
So think about the chipping, where it would be on the kit, and also what it would actually be in real life, and to what it would be chipping from. So
I mean, yeah, think this other thing as well is you see some models where people have put like very nice chipping all over the model, and it's like, well, kind of is not how chipping works. When you see a bad paint chipping job, it stands out because it's just randomly applied, and it's like you don't want to avoid having random chips, because random chips happen. That's how it works. But you want to make sure, but you want to make sure you focus on certain areas to give it a believability. So, for example, where you've got a panel that opens, like say you've got a stowage box on the side of a tank, and the panel opens like that. You've got that side where the two sides are hinged. You're going to get paint chipping there. The handle where the person grabs is going to get worn. Around the edges where the box shuts, because you've got people, in combat gear and running around, the raised surfaces are going to get a bit more chipped because they're raised, and it's any kind of areas where you might get foot traffic, like on foot plates to walk up into the cupola of a tank. Think about where the traffic's going to be, where the hand traffic and the people loading ammunition and stowage boxes, where it's going to scrape the paint off. If you look at any car, if you've got a car, go and look at if it's an old car with a battered paint job. Where's all the paint chipping? It's on the edges of the doors where you bang it against the wall. It's on the front where it gets stone chips. It's around the wheel arches where you get stone chips. So try and think logically. It's always where you've got foot traffic or hand traffic or object traffic, stuff moving across the surface. You do get random stuff as well, especially on military vehicles from bullet ricochets, all kinds of stuff. But as long as you put some logic behind where you're putting the chips, it's going to give it a certain, not believability, but it's going to, in your mind, you're going to think that looks right because it's around the edge of a panel or it's on a contact surface or where two parts move against each other. It's around the edges of moving parts and things like that, where stuff will chafe or scrape or bang. It just gives it a believability that your brain goes, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Sprugler Addicts has got another question.
Go for it.
Knight Rider or Airwolf?
Yeah.
Difficult one, isn't it?
Oh, they're all really hard, these.
The Airwolf music was excellent.
Yeah, I'd say Airwolf because it was more awesome. Because it was a helicopter man. And it had the better music. And yeah, I didn't really like the main character, but Stringfellow Hawk, because he was a bit weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sally James says Dad, says Mike Mountain.
Joanna Hammond says, I'd have to say Knight Rider as it was more realistic. It was impossible for a helicopter to go at nearly 1,000 miles per hour.
Yes.
I think you could say either of them were realistic.
I am, just to let everybody know, I'm gonna remove a comment from chat. Nobody's in trouble. But we don't recommend other traders, other retailers on the eModels stream. Just keep that in mind, because eModels is a retailer, so we don't really recommend other retailers. Nobody's in trouble. Don't panic. You may not have known, but we try and avoid recommending other retailers.
Phillies says the A-Team wins over everything, though.
No, I don't know. A-Team, Sprugler Addicts is A-Team or Dukes of Hazzard. It's going to be the A-Team for that. Hey, bleeding fool.
Hazzard are good.
Yeah. Airwolf actually stands up way better than any of the black pointy 80s vehicle shows. Yeah, there is that. Because the thing is, an old, that car is dated. That helicopter still looks kick-ass today.
But yeah, it doesn't. Then again, I reckon Street Hawk could still look good today.
No, Street Hawk never looked good, even when it was new.
Not as a show, but as the bike. I reckon that would work. Still quite a nice looking bike.
Yeah, like motorbikes don't age quite as badly as cars.
Yeah.
Well, I do like the, was it a Firebird? Was it Trans Am? I can't remember. One of them.
Anyway. Knight Rider, yeah, it was Trans Am.
Yeah, Trans Am.
Mike Mountain says Daisy Duke. I think he means that Dukes of Hazzard obviously win because
Mike Mountain. He's obviously speaking in Dave's absence as well because Dave is at his Iron Maiden concert.
The A-Team didn't really have any shit. They had the girl that sort of turned up occasionally, but she wasn't really part of the team, was she?
Yeah, it wasn't the sort of token totty. I apologise for the reference, but that's what it was in those days. It wasn't like that. But it had you can't beat the A-Team. I ain't getting on a plane, fool. Here's a cheeseburger. Okay. On the plane. Damn, how did you get past me again? I don't know. How do you keep falling for it every week? Every week you fell for the hamburger or
it's a glass of milk, wasn't it? Just a glass
of milk. And you remember Murdoch with Thermidor, the lobster claw. I don't know why that stuck in my mind. It just did. Joanna Hammond says the strangest was Automan. God, I remember Automan. Cursor.
His little cursor, yeah.
Yep.
He needed a helicopter. He just drew a helicopter and then it was there. Yeah.
Ray Aquilina is in from Malta. Hi, Ray.
Joanna Hammond actually does the one I was going to say is Manimal.
Manimal.
That was stranger than Automan by quite a long way.
Terrible. I just realised we didn't go through who was in chat earlier on, so apologies. It was too late.
Lots of people are in chat. Hello, everybody.
Yes.
Spirit Q8 says, I've been watching Street Hawk recently. It's not aged well. If you know bikes, neither of the futuristicness of the Street Hawk, but the voiceover at the start rocks.
Yes, what he means is where it goes, this is Jesse Mark, an ex-motorcycle cop injured in the line of duty. Now a police troubleshooter. Blah, blah, blah. Only one man, Federal Agent Norman Tuttle, knows Jesse Mark's secret. The man, the machine. Street Hawk is terrible. I have fond memories of an episode of Street Hawk where he's going through for some reason, he was in kind of some Wild West style village. Like it was some kind of thing where they recreate the Wild West. You go there for your vacation. And it was empty and he was going down the street dead slowly looking for someone. And they had a close-up of his helmet. And it was the stupidest thing they could have done because all you can see in the reflection on his visor is the pickup truck in front of the motorbike in which there's a big with a massive television camera follow it in front of the motorbike filming it. And that's everything you can see in the visor is the truck with the camera in the back. It's like, wow, you just a bad move. It's terrible.
Totally Scale Model says, what about Blue Thunder? That was just
Blue Thunder, terrible. Nah, never got into Blue Thunder. It was the poor man's Airwolf.
I think it was first though, wasn't it?
It was a movie, I think.
It was a movie first, and it was all right. It sort of set the scene, but it didn't really go anywhere. I watched the film last year sometime, and it was all right.
Was it Roy Scheider?
Yeah.
Wasn't it? Yeah. It was a bit more realistic than Airwolf, but it wasn't as good. Sprugly Waddick comes up with a non sequitur who says, Fall Guy or Dad's Army? Both. Well, Dad's Army's better than everything.
Yeah, they're completely different. You can't really compare the two of them.
There's only one thing better than Dad's Army, and that's dinosaurs. But I mean the TV series. I mean,
just going to say Dad's Army was full of dinosaurs.
Yeah, because dinosaurs are better than everything, but nothing beats Dad's Army. But Fall Guy was awesome. I've got the song in my head now. Most people don't know, but I have a very large collection of 80s and 70s TV theme tunes that I know them all. So, yeah.
I see. Sprugly Waddick now says Heidi High or Hello Hello.
I never let Keen on Heidi High.
It's probably Hello Hello.
Yeah, probably Hello Hello. But Dad's Army,
nothing. Probably not allowed to do it now. It'd be racist, wouldn't it? So.
Yeah, but nothing at all beats Dad's Army. Just never.
There was a new film or something, wasn't there? But I haven't seen it. It did run a couple of years ago.
Apparently, it wasn't very good.
Apparently, well, a lot of these remakes and things aren't worth bothering about, are they?
Yeah, nah. Although they did do, they did like a Dad's Army, a kind of a little sort of drama documentary. It was about the making of Dad's Army, and it had all the actors playing the actors, and that was actually quite good. It was like a behind the scenes thing about how the writers came up with it and got it passed through the BBC and got all the crew together, and that was actually quite good because they cast it perfectly. But the movie that came out wasn't very good. James Chapman,
we're 3/4 of an hour in.
I know, nearly time to do all some giveaways and stuff. James Chapman says dinosaurs or Captain Caveman. Dinosaurs every time. I'm the baby, gotta love me.
Oh, you actually mean was it called Dinosaurs? Or...
yeah, it was called Dinosaurs. Unless he means dinosaurs as in dinosaurs, in which case dinosaurs are better than everything. Well,
oh dear. Apparently, Street Hawk's on tonight.
On tonight.
On tonight, Virgin 277.
Virgin 277.
TV.
Virgin 277.
Forces TV is. If you get Forces TV, watch Street Hawk tonight and remember it better than it actually is. Yes,
I think I may avoid that and just not decide to. James Chapman says, not the mama.
Not the mama, yeah. Zadster says, Dad's Army film wasn't very good according to reviews, but lots of people watched it. Well, lots of people would have watched it because it was Dad's Army, but then if it wasn't quite the same, then, you know.
Yeah, Jimmy Brown says, don't panic, the Dad's Army story is what I was referring to. Yes, I can't remember what it was called. Don't panic at the Dad's Army story was the sort of the drama about how they made this series, and it was brilliant because it was really well cast. It was perfect.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of reboots and things that they don't need to reboot. They seem to be doing it for the sake of doing it, or that was successful 20 years ago. I'm sure it'll be successful now.
Yeah, some things should just be left alone now, I think.
Yeah.
What are we on? 9:48. So we've got a while yet. Not time for giveaways or anything or what's in store yet. I don't know. Should we do what's in store?
We could start an early what's in store. Why not? We don't want to get into a rut and have people knowing what time we're doing stuff.
Yeah, because it's like if they knew
like we had a plan, and
it's almost like we don't want them to think that we're always going to talk about old TV every week because that never happens.
Can't do that. No.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay. Well, let's do what's in store then. If you give me a second.
No problem. Well, as last week, we have a theme for what's in store.
Oh yes.
But we're not going to tell you what it is. This week, Ted's been busy. He's come up with a theme, and he's sent them all to us. Foxx has got them all lined up, ready to go. But we're not going to tell you the theme. When we finish doing the presenting of what's in store, and you see Foxx back on screen again, then's the time to put in the chat what you think the theme is this week.
Yep. I will say, tell us what the theme was. We will ignore any answers given before I say, tell us what the theme was.
if you do find out what it is early, or think you know what it is early, don't tell anybody, because then they might get in at the end after if you were right or not. But you never know. So yeah,
the golden rule is shut up and you might win.
Don't talk about what's in. Well, you do talk about what's in store, but don't talk about what the theme is unless you want to win the theme, because you might win a sticker.
Just keep it to yourself until I say what is the theme. So anyway, right. So should we go through? Shall I lock it on me and do the screen share?
I'll just sit back and read the things, because
I'll keep an eye on the magic chat.
I shall look on that. I shall.
Is it locked on me? Are you seeing lovely goodness?
I'm seeing it, but I don't know if it's locked on me. I can't tell if it's locked or not.
It is locked on me, I think.
But that's okay then. Yeah, and you are sharing a screen.
Yes. Good. Jolly good. Jolly good.
Hey.
I should pay you or something, shouldn't I? Right. Well, here we go. Welcome to What's in Store. These are all chosen by Ted. So I've now got to try and talk about these for 5 minutes without repetition, hesitation, or pausing. Good luck with that.
In the store.
First off, we're going to start with the eModels 135th US Army CAT D7 recovery tractor. Now, we've done a few tractors, Army tractors, on the show before. Ted seems to have a thing for tractors. I think he secretly talks like that. He likes a little bit of tractor action. So this is a 135th tractor. Not really much you can say about it. It looks pretty cool. It's got a lot of potential for completely going crazy with it, because you could make it look like an Army recovery tractor, or you could do a lot of other crazy stuff if you really wanted to. I like the fact it's got the big fat flappy tracks. That's quite cool. But yeah, not really a lot I can say about it, but it looks pretty mint. It's obviously not an agricultural tractor. You could really, I was about to say you could really Warhammer or Mad Max that, but then I say that about everything.
You do, and Ted would never say that. So
no, Ted wouldn't know what Warhammering was.
No.
Or Mad Maxing.
Jamie Bone says if it's Ted, it'd be Flesh Tones, the theme.
Yeah, that's true.
Michael Jackman says, "Oh, a sensible what's in store."
Yeah, well, yeah. Hang on, I'm receiving messages. Only these are official. I'm going to make sure I've not got any updates from He Who Must Be Obeyed.
Yeah.
Who's sending me messages now? Oh, yes. Already aware. Whoever, the person that just sent me that message, yes, I know. Yes, so eModels 135th Army CAT retractor. It's one of those kits that you can either build it as its own thing in a little nice little diorama, or it's also one of those kits that's a great accompaniment to whatever you're building. So if you're building like a military diorama of some sort of other vehicles, why not have one of these as well, just to give it more realism? Because you could be doing a recovery scene or a damaged vehicle that's being recovered. So it's always one of those kits that's worth keeping an eye on, because it can add to a diorama. So we have the 135th US Army CAT, there's a clue, D7. Okay. Don't I think what the theme is? What's next? Next we have the DH60G Gypsy Moth Coupe from Avis. Now, I didn't know a coupe was a thing a plane could be. Does that mean it's got like low slung wheels and extra seats in the back, and you can drop?
Sorry, I thought you said toupee.
Toupee now. Let's have a look. So yes, it's the Avis 172nd Gypsy Moth. It's a biplane, and it's got floats, which is awesome. And it's always good fun. It's one of those sort of I kind of have memories as a kid of building biplanes, because biplanes are kind of awesome. I think it'd be difficult to do one now without, because now I know so much more about building models. I couldn't get away with, when I was a kid, just putting some thread around the struts and calling it done. I'd have to get all clever with my easy line. But yeah,
I need to do some easy line work on some things, but yeah.
But this is from the British Arctic Air Route Expedition, where I'm guessing that was where they were sort of first initially doing all their explorations and figuring out mail routes and things like that over the Arctic and other expeditions to get there, to see how they could exploit that area.
I'm assuming there's probably not much weathering on a seaplane.
Don't know, actually. I mean, you'd have scrapes and scratches and scuffs and streaking on the wow, that was all alliteration.
Yeah, it might be some like sort of salt marks, more like a boat.
Yeah, I mean, if you drove your car around on the surface of a lake for a while, especially a saltwater lake, it'd probably rust and go corroded.
It'd sink as well.
The paint would fall off. Yeah. But yes. So that's that one. So that's the Avis Gypsy Moth coupe float plane. What's next? Next we have It's the MPC Space 1999 Nuclear Waste Area 2 diorama with the 124th Moon Buggy. Now, you remember I made my 148th Eagle Transporter, which is a brilliant kit. This is not an accompaniment to that because this is 124 scale, not 148 scale. However, this would be technically to the same scale as the actual original filming miniature, which was 124 scale. It was like 3 feet long or something crazy, 4 feet long. But this you actually get the Moon Buggy. Because I was looking around for a Moon Buggy to put with my Eagle Transporter, and there wasn't one in 148 that didn't involve buying something off Shapeways at a ridiculous amount of money. But as this, you get the bonus Moon Buggy, and you can't.
But it would be twice the size of the one you did, yeah.
Yeah, this will be twice. This will be this. You could get the 148, the Eagle, and put it off in the distance and have forced perspective.
Yeah.
But the Moon Buggy, if I remember rightly, was an Alvin, something cat. It was called the something or other cat. It was a real vehicle. They just painted it up to look like a futuristic space buggy. Right.
Spirit Q8 says about the weathering on a boat plane. He says you'd be very surprised at the wear and tear on the floats on a float plane. First time I saw one up close, I was amazed at how much of a hammering they obviously take. Yeah, I suppose water is going to do a lot of damage to not so much dirt weathering, but damage weathering. Yeah.
Yeah. It's more like it's like doing a. Like we said about a desert tank earlier on, it's more about it's not, mud and snow and things are easy, but when it comes to things like deserts and things like this, it's more damage weathering than dirt and staining and stuff like that. So, but it depends if it's all freshwater lakes it's flying in, then you probably wouldn't have that much. It's more paint chipping. So that's that one. So that's the Waste Area 2 diorama. Kind of cool. Then we have the Revell 1350 assault ship USS Wasp. Lots of clues in here, and this looks pretty mint. This is rather large because at 1/350 scale, I don't know how big it is, but it's going to be pretty spanky.
Massive, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going to be quite large. You've got all the little sort of support hovercraft and things as well to go with it, the little sort of PT boats and stuff. That looks pretty mint. That looks huge. It's got all the craft on there because it's an aircraft carrier. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Photo etch parts for the railing and the radar antennae, hull in one single part with many details. Now that's an important bit. If it's a single piece hull, that makes life a lot easier. Were your tugs single piece or were they split hulls?
They're split hulls.
Split hulls. Yeah, so the fact it's a single piece hull just means you don't have to glue it down the middle. I'm assuming that. Don't take me as read. I haven't obviously seen this kit. Flight deck in one single piece with many graved on details. Let's have a look. It's got
that says, "Oh, I get the theme."
Yep. Shh, don't say anything out loud. Shh. It's got 2 lateral lifts, 2 landing barges, 2 hovercrafts, 2 helicopters, 2 Sea Stallion helicopters, 4 Sea Stallion helicopters, 4 Super Cobra helicopters, 4 Sea Knight helicopters. That's a lot of helicopters. You've got 2 Harriers, 4 Ospreys, several vehicles including Abrams, AAV-7s, 2 wheeled armored vehicles, 2 cannons, HMMWV, and 2 lorries. Just generic lorries. They're not specified. Assistance vehicles, display cradle, and a decal sheet for the ship, the aircraft, and the landing barges. So basically, it's a huge aircraft carrier with a ton of details. And a lot of people know that Revell do actually do a lot of ship kits. And they are actually pretty good. They're actually pretty darn good. So this is probably going to be absolutely fantastic. If you're into your kits and if you're into ships and your modern aircraft carriers and the like, I definitely want to look at, because that's going to keep you busy for months. I'd spend weeks and weeks and weeks just painting that little aircraft.
Gordon at GB Model Zone talking about the Eagle thing. He says it's actually the same scale as the Eagle. It's just the buggy that's 1/24th.
Oh, right, okay.
So your background bits are ideal for putting in, but the buggy you'd have to have closer.
That's me getting that wrong. So in that case, yes, if you have got the Eagle Transporter, the 1/48th one, then yeah, go for that diorama set. It's the same scale.
Blue Addict says my wife has just taken my credit card off me.
Oh yeah.
And Skipper Ted does indeed say, don't forget, if you see something you like, slap it in your basket and check it out, because otherwise it might not be there when you come to buy it later.
Yeah, until you've paid for it, even if it's in your basket, it's not yours. Yeah. Somebody else could buy it. And if they've got one in stock...
pretty sure eModels store your credit card details, so you're okay even if she takes the card away.
Yeah, yeah.
As long as you shopped there before.
Just put her card details in instead. We do not encourage using other people's cards. Anyway, yes, that's the USS Wasp. So really, that would be a very, very nice display piece when that is done and dusted. I did the 172nd U-boat, and that was 3 feet long. And that was really nice. That was a really nice kit. So go for it. What's next? Next, we have the Hong Kong Models 132nd de Havilland Mosquito B Mark 9 or Mark 16. See how quickly I can read my Roman numerals because I'm dead clever. This looks absolutely fantastic. If you like your Mozzies, I'm just seeing if there's any more details. No more details on there. We got pictures of we got. If you like your Mosquitoes, it is an epic and beautiful plane. Not quite as beautiful as a Spitfire, but pretty darn good.
What scale is that one?
This is a 132nd, so it's going to be a nice big kit. The Mosquito wasn't a small plane. The Mosquito was unique. If I could have this wrong, and this is where I'll embarrass myself, but if I remember rightly, the Mosquito was unique in that it was all wooden, balsa wood and like canvas. It was a really light wood-based, canvas-based plane. It wasn't metal and anything like that. It was kind of an early stealth plane almost, sort of, but not quite.
Now you've said that. Sound familiar.
Now I've said that, and so everybody's going to go, actually, no, you're talking rubbish because it was like made out of, you know, iron and mountains and stuff. It actually says Mozzie in the corner of the box as well, which I like. But yeah, the Mosquito was a fantastic plane. It was a revolutionary plane because it was kind of like a stealth vehicle. I can't remember if it was supposed to be a bomber or a recon plane originally, but the idea was it was lightweight, wooden canvas, so it wouldn't necessarily show up on radar quite as much. And it was made, Tony Blackwell says it was made by furniture makers from plywood. I think it was also to do with the resources available at the time.
Ted says, was he built in furniture factories? Yeah, so it must be true. 2 people have said it. So.
Yeah. It was more a case of them using the resources they had when things like aluminium and other metals were maybe in short supply. Makes sense to go back to basics. So yeah, that looks like it's gonna be absolutely stunning. Let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can't see how many sprues are on there because some of them are covered up. Lots and lots of sprues, lots and lots of wood slide decals. That looks fantastic. And even I would be tempted. Well, the wing looks like a single piece as well. It could be a top and a bottom half, which is easily cleaned up with the seam line, if that's the case. So, yeah, get yourself a Mosquito. Subtle hint. There's a Mosquito for you. And I think that is, yeah, that's all of them. So that's what we have in store this week. So I shall unscreen share. I shall unlock from me. And I shall say, are you ready? What is the theme for today? Go. First one to get it right.
I do think your subtle hints were probably not subtle enough.
Yeah, maybe. What was the theme? Right. I'll go for either the exact word that Ted gave me or something close.
Yeah.
There we go, straight in. First one in is Joanna Hammond with insects. Yeah. Ted said bugs. That's near enough.
Yep.
The theme was, of course, insects. So well done. Well done, Joanna. Drop Ted an email, ted@emodels.co.uk with your name and address. And we'll send you what we're doing for a sticker, isn't it? A big sticker. Send you a big sticker.
Notable entry there is from Sprue Glue Addict, who says cucumbers.
Cucumbers. Yeah. Always cucumbers. So you get yourself a big sticker.
Yeah. Look, I've got one. I'm modelling my sticker here.
Yep.
You can probably just about see it.
Yeah, as you can see, it's not actually a big white square. That's just a piece of card I've got this mounted on. Because I can't.
There is a little white bit in the top bit. The top bit of the E is solid.
Yeah, that's white. This bit around here transparent. Yeah, it's like a vinyl sticker you might put on your car.
Yeah,
it's kind of hard wearing. You can stick it. I might stick one on my car actually. I must do that. I've got other ones.
Not in the middle of the windscreen though.
Yes. Wayne Haywood says annoying garden creatures. Sprue Glue Addict says I never win anything. He always says that. James Chapman says Foxx received my big E sticker today and it's massive.
They are, yep.
Yes. Brilliant. Well done, Joanna. That's what is in store. So as we said before, like Chris said, if any of those do tickle your fancy, don't hang around. We don't know how many of them they have in stock. And it may well be they have 30 of them or they might have one. And if you really want one, get it in your basket, like Ted would say, and get it checked out while you're watching the stream. Because if it's in your basket and you haven't paid for it, somebody else can buy it. It's not reserved once it's in your basket. So don't hang around. Slap it in your basket. Right, what have I missed in chat then while I was doing all that then, Chris? Anything good going on?
Not much. No, a few noteworthy things I sort of shouted out while you're doing it. unfortunately, as with ever with the chat, we're sort of one item behind whatever, because by the time you've presented one and gone on to the next one, then everyone's commenting about the one you've already gone. So
yeah,
yeah.
I noticed that Sergeant Bones as always says Dunkelgelb. One day we will have to do a question where the answer is actually Dunkelgelb.
That's never going to be the answer.
Yes. Yeah, question. What colour is the one that everybody argues about? Yeah. So that was what in store. Let's have a look and see. Do we have any questions come through while we're doing that?
Not on there. You had some questions. Sticker questions for on the emails, yes, didn't
you? We certainly did. Let's have a look. We actually have a look. Okay, yeah, we've got a couple of stickers. We've got a question for a sticker and a question for a mug. So should we do those?
Can do, yeah. Mickle Pickle just says, Chris, have you seen that Model Space build your own X-Wing? Yeah, it looks like I'm going to have to start doing that when that comes out. They're not doing it in the UK yet. They haven't announced it in the UK as yet. The American one, I think the German Agostini site have got it, but not in the UK as yet. So I haven't finished the R2 yet. I'm still...
For those that don't know, it's the Agostini who did the studio scale Millennium Falcon that I never finished.
You did start it though.
I got to episode 6, and they do the R2D2 that you're building, the half size 1:2 scale, and now they're doing a studio scale X-wing.
Yeah, it's 1/16 scale.
Yeah, 1/16 scale. Yes, so it's a part work monthly. They send you a magazine every month with the bits.
Speed says, "Is that in 6 episodes, Chris?" Yeah. If I start it and just do 6 episodes, will that be all right? No, nobody didn't know.
Try and start. Just do the cockpit in 6 episodes.
But in an X-wing, the cockpit is pretty much all of it, isn't it?
Yeah. See, I could fit that on my workbench. Just can't afford it now. So there you go. Yeah. Right. So yes, we have some questions. So should we do some stickery giveaways?
Yeah.
Okay. This is for a regular eModel sticker. We'll do one of these. We'll do a big one. We'll do one of these, and we'll do a mug. Now, as always, before we go anywhere, before we start asking the questions, first and foremost, if you want to win something and you're watching this and you haven't got the chat up, you need to make sure you're on the YouTube page where the live chat is. So click on the little YouTube icon down here in the bottom right somewhere. If you're watching through the eModels webpage or anything like that, click on that. It'll take you to the YouTube page where the live chat is, because we're going to go off answers in the live chat. Before we do anything, though, what we need you all to do in the chat is refresh, because there's usually a lag by now between the chat and the video. So before we do anything else, refresh your browser window, and then when it's loaded, drag the slider all the way to the right-hand side to make sure you're at the absolute most recent moment of video. So do that now. Do it now, do it now, do it now. Press it. We're going to wait for you. Sprugly Addict says, Fox, do you have all the parts of the Millennium Falcon? Yes, in a wardrobe. I built the cockpit. That's as far as I got. So is everybody refreshing? Chris, can you?
Sure they have.
Can you tell if they're refreshing?
I can't tell. It looks the same to me.
Have you not got the all-seeing eye that Ted had? Because Ted could see them all refreshing.
No, Ted's got the eye. He's not letting anyone else have it. I think if he thinks if we get it, we might not let him back.
Yeah, if he gives me the all-seeing eye, it could go horribly wrong. Right, so we'll assume you've all refreshed now. Just remember, of course, to drag the slider across to the right so you're not like a minute behind everybody else. So we shall do, I shall take a swig of water because I've got a frog in my throat. We've got 3 questions, 2 from Joanna and 1 from Chris Belcham. So, for a small sticker, for a normal sticker, regular sticker. Oh, Spruglo Addict says, wait, I need to get a beer from the fridge. Fox, can you send your email, please? And you too, Chris. Says Ray Aquilina.
Okay, well, give Ted a shout at eModels and we'll sort it through that.
Yeah. Well, I think he knows us both on Facebook anyway. So
this is true. Yeah, we're around.
Yeah. Tell you what, Ray, the best thing to do is drop us both a message on Facebook, because we'll forget. The moment we close this stream down, we'll lose the chat and forget. So anyway, yes. So for a small sticker, we'll assume that Spruglu's got his beer now. And where's mine? Question from Joanna. Now, this is a medical thing now, so it may need a little Googling to do. You know, Joanna likes her chemicals and her chemical questions and her chemistry questions, biology questions.
Oh, dear.
Right, so the question is, you ready? What finger does the ulnar nerve control? Go. As
Oh, I know
always,
that one. It's that one, isn't it?
that one with the the letters in the name. Remember, we don't fact check these. We just assume that you know what you're talking about when you send us a question. So, what fingers does the ulnar nerve control?
Middle, pinky.
Yeah, we'll take the first
Index.
one that said pinky,
Thumb.
which is George Flaughter. He
Yep.
said pinky. Joanne says the little finger and the side of the ring finger next to so these two basically. So pinky will do. So George, well done. You're having a good run of these lately. George Flaughter, well done. You've won yourself an sticker. Send an email to ted@emodels.co.uk. Send Ted an email and just say that you've won a sticker, a regular sticker, and we'll send you a regular sticker. Joanna does say no sticker required, which is funny because she's got a big sticker on the way now anyway.
Yeah, that's all the sticker you'll ever need.
Yeah. So that's that one. The next one. So well done to George. Now, as we say with these always, if you've already got a sticker or a mug and you don't want another one, don't answer the question. If you do want another one, you've already got one, you're more than welcome. You can obviously then join and answer the question. But if you don't want another one, just leave the question for somebody else to answer. So next up, we've got, that's not very visible, is it? Let me find, we've got one of these, which actually looks like that on the backing paper. One of those. We've got a big Mr. E sticker. Brilliant.
Yeah, because I found out when I put mine on, they've got backing paper and fronting paper.
Yeah, they're proper vinyl decals like you put on a car, like your vinyl decals for your car. You peel them off, and then you put them on this, and then you peel the backing off. It's like a proper vinyl.
You peel off the back, then you peel off the front, and it goes where you want it to go.
Make sure it's nice and flat. So for a big Mr. E sticker, I'll just catch up with the chat. Spriggloo Addict says I never win anything. Type fast, Mr. Spriggloo Addict.
Joanna Hammond says I'm asking questions based on my own hand condition because she's had a hand operation-y thing, so she's had her nose around and seen what ties up to where.
Right, so you can guess the next question then, which is also from Jan, is also about Philly says the Cadburys. Right, so the second question. Second question. She says, ready? Get your Google fingers ready. What is the channel that the ulnar nerve goes through in the wrist called? Go. What is the channel that the ulnar nerve goes through in the wrist?
Is it BBC Two?
RTF or what's the Italian channel? RAI. So what is the channel that the ulnar nerve goes through in the wrist called? Wow. Well, George Flaughter gives the wrong answer, but George Flaughter's answer sounds brilliant.
It sounds convincing. I'd have gone with that.
George Flaughter says the cubital tunnel, which sounds like something out of No Man's Sky. And Joanna Hammond says, no, George, that's the elbow.
Sergeant Bones says carpal.
Yeah.
Don't know if that's...
Might have to give a clue for this one.
Carpal tunnel.
Might have to give a clue.
5.
Shall I give a clue?
I don't know. There's still Googling, I think. Give me a minute.
There's a comment I just need to remove. Okay, I'm gonna give you. Oh, hang on, there we go. Phil Kett says, I think that's the first one. I should actually check.
That's the first time I've seen that one.
Yeah, Phil Kett says Guillon's Canal, which is the answer I have from Joanne. It's Guillon's Canal. I was going to say it's French. Going to give you a little hint. Yes, Guillon's Canal. Well done, Phil Kett. Well done. You've won yourself a big Mr. E sticker. So send an email to ted@emodels.co.uk. You will know the address by now. ted@emodels.co.uk. And just put down that you've won the big sticker or the Mr. E sticker, just so we know which one to send you, because we don't want to send you a little one if you want a big one, because that'd be big.
Spriggloo Addict says, I never win anything.
He's going to one day. Did he? Hang on. Did he actually put an answer in? Did he? He did. He put Channel 5.
It's one of those dodgy channels on Sky.
See, there's your problem right there. Everybody else is hastily Googling it, and you're like, I don't know. Joanna Hammond, George Flaughter says physiology classes were years ago. Okay, so that's that one. We've got one more to go, and this is for, of course, the eModels mug, the new one, the new spanky one with Mr. E on it.
Yeah, on that side. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, again, as always, if you've already got a mug, you're welcome to another one. You can have more than one. You can have as many as you like. If you don't want another one, don't answer the question. If you don't win, but you want one of these, you can buy these off the eModels website. They don't make any money off these. They sell them for exactly what they pay to get them made. I think it's like 6, 7, or 8 quid or something. That's exactly what they pay for them. So they sell them at cost to you. So go and grab yourself one if you don't win one.
Spirit Q8 says, next question, what's Spruglew's catchphrase?
I think about that one. I might have to Google that one.
Yeah.
Right, so we have one more question. Right, so are we all ready? Are we all ready? Sergeant Bone says cheese and onion. Let me guess, I'm not going to win a mug, says Spruglu. It's a quick Google. If you Google it, well, you might know it. It's not a medical question.
If you know it, then you're almost guaranteed. Yeah.
So get Google up and ready now. Just get your typing fingers ready. Have a cursor going in the Google search window. We'll give you a second.
Don't shut this window down when you go to the Google search window, because that would be bad.
The object.
That makes it harder to answer the question.
Yeah. Ready? Right. So this question is from Chris Bolton. He sends best wishes to Ted. But he hopes you get better. He says, question. Ted made an Oshkosh military vehicle, 3 models. He did a build series of the massive 1/16 scale, I think, Oshkosh vehicle. I don't know what you class it as. Armored vehicle. It's very good. Go and check it out. It's huge. Massive. He says, his question is, Oshkosh is a city in which US state? Go. Oshkosh is a city in which US state? Now remember, we don't check these. We assume this is the correct answer. Sergeant Bone says nobody but Spruglu answer. He says Mars. Oh, Spruglu, what are you doing? The answer is actually correctly answered by it's moving too fast, Stephen Hill Harris, who says Wisconsin. The answer we get from Chris is yes, it's in Wisconsin. So well done, Stephen Hill Harris. You've won yourself a mug. Pop yourself an email to ted@emodels.co.uk and just say you've won the mug. We don't send these out. We send the stickers out, but we forward the mail to eModels and they send this out to you. So make sure you put down that you've sent the mug. Put your name and address in there as well. So there you go. That's all the stickers and mugs given away. Well done to everyone that won one. Did I miss anything in chat while we were?
No, just lots of different states coming up. We've got Texas and Ohio and State of Insanity and population of 66,083. I don't.
Joanna Hammond says, one time I don't need to Google the answer on my left hand completely fails. So well done to everyone that won something. Right, so on the theme of giveaways, it's only 10:15. Or 10:20. It's very early.
Yeah, we seem to be doing well tonight. We're rocking along and
hopping along quite speedily. Yeah, we'll tell you what. Let's just see if anybody in chat before we go and do the giveaways. Last week's giveaway and this week's giveaway. We've got don't forget this week as well. We've got the gallery giveaway as well. The gallery prize.
That's why we're going quicker than normal, because we've got to squeeze that in as well.
Yeah. But we do have some questions. I was just about to say, send us some questions to pad out the time. We've actually had a couple come through.
I just saw one of them. Yep.
Let's have a look. Shadowland Scale Model says, question, what colour would you paint the glass on pilot's goggles?
Depends on what type of pilot, really. If you're talking like a modern aviator pilot, aren't they normally goldy colour, aren't they?
I don't know. I don't know if pilots do they even wear goggles anymore? They have visors on the helmet.
Well, advisory things, I assume that's what you mean. I mean, if you're talking about ye olde worldy pilot goggles, then they were just glass, weren't they?
Yeah, they were just plain glass, I think.
Transparent. So,
if it's like just sci-fi or anything like that, you can go for whatever colour you want. If it's clear plastic that you've got there, often shades of orange and yellow can look fantastic on clear, especially if it's over the eyes. Or there's something underneath you can see through the clear plastic. Shades of orange and yellow can look fantastic. But that's only if you're not, being realistic. If it's a real world pilot from yesteryear, it was just clear glass. Sometimes I suppose they might have had a slight blue tint to them, maybe, but I don't know. Go with whatever your imagination says. Whatever you decide is the right answer. Let's have a look. Jamie,
totally scale model says, right, it's 11:20 p.m. It's hot and time to stick the aircon on and go to bed.
11:20 p.m. in Wales.
Yeah, he's on holiday at the moment.
Why did I say he's what?
He's not in Wales, no.
No, why did I say Wales?
I don't know.
I'm thinking of Matty's metal detecting, aren't I, for some reason?
Yeah, well, that would be the one that's got Wales written in the title. It wasn't
Matty's metal detecting. Is he in tonight? I've not seen him tonight. Is he in?
Yeah, I think I saw him earlier.
Are you with us, Matty? Are you in there somewhere? I don't know why I suddenly thought that then. We do have a question from Jamie Bone. He says, how do you make sprue goo? Dead easy.
You get some glue and you get some sprue and you mix the two together.
Yep. Get yourself a jar of Tamir Extra Thin. Put in a whole mess of bits of polystyrene sprue, or you can use polystyrene plastic card. Works best with polystyrene. Put tons and tons and tons of it in until they keep mixing it around. Put a load in, let it sit for 10 minutes. Put more in, let it sit for 10 minutes. Put the lid back on because this stinks. And you want it to be the thickness so that when you pull the brush out on the lid, it makes a blob, but it doesn't drip. It makes a bulb of glue, but it doesn't drip down. If it drips down, it's too thin. So just keep adding. You can actually put quite a lot in there. Keep adding, it melts down. And then when it's thick enough to make a ball but not drip straight away, you're good to go. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. What we missed. James Chapman says, Chris, where does he message you?
Yeah, sorry, Ted's already offered to intermediate to make it easier. Matt is metal detecting in South Wales says, hello. He says, lol.
Yay. I just hadn't heard from you in the chat. I hadn't noticed him speaking. He's normally quite chatty. So
we're about to send the crew around to make sure you're all right.
Sphinx Ruiz says, I'm building an Air Force One model kit by Hasegawa. What's the way to do the silver trim under the fuselage and on the engine silver trim? So I'm going to guess if it's Air Force One, it's proper shiny aluminium, isn't it? It's bright aluminium, unpainted aircraft.
It's not going to be weathered or anything, is it? It's going to be new and shiny.
Yep. Primal says bare metal foil. If it's Air Force One, you're looking at basically bare aircraft metal, which is either aluminium or duraluminium. It's very shiny silver metal. You could go for, if you're just looking for a paint, you could go for, if you're never going to handle the model and you can get all the other painting done first, you could go for some of the Alclad lacquer paints. If you've got an airbrush and you've got a nice ventilation booth and an air respirator, you could go for the Alclad lacquers. If you've not got all the necessary respiration kit for lacquers, you could consider some of the Vallejo metal colors. They're really like duraluminium is a really nice color. Do it over a gloss black.
What about your the C1 metallizing powder thing? Would that would work?
I would say, depending on the effect you want, you don't really want to go for a chrome look because it's not really chrome. It's just very bright, shiny metal. So I would say the way I would do it is I would use some of the UMP gloss black primer. It's available in store. Now this is just the regular black, but you can get gloss black. You want gloss black. It's a brilliant primer and it's gloss black. Saves you having to paint in gloss black first. So get some of the ultimate gloss black primer. Then you want to use the you could use the Vallejo. You can't read that because it's covered in paint, but it's the Vallejo metal color duraluminium, which is 77.702. You might want to go for a brighter color than that. There are some brighter colors, but I've used that one. It's brilliant. The duraluminium over that, airbrush that over, gets a nice bright shiny color, and the gloss black gives it a bit more depth. And then go over with, if you can get some C1 metallizer, which is a buffing powder, which quite simply you put it on with a little sponge applicator and then buff it with a soft piece of cloth or a little cotton wool makeup sponge, and you buff it and it gives a lovely shiny reflective surface. If you do the C1 directly over gloss black, you'll get a kind of chrome effect. If you do it with the duraluminium or a similar bright silver color underneath, it makes it less chromy and less reflective, but you still get a really bright metallic effect, and it's completely smooth. You don't get, assuming that you've put the metallic color on nice and smoothly, you get a really smooth finish. And the C1 metallizer is quite good. It's quite good for handling. It's quite durable. You can handle a model kit and it won't come off on your hands. And you can put decals over it. You don't necessarily have to gloss varnish over it, which can, reduce the shiny effect. But there are other effects. I would recommend the Vallejo metal colors though, because they are brilliant paints. They're really fine pigment, so you can airbrush them on, and they're not going to be all gritty and grainy like, say, a Tamiya metallic. So check those out. Unless you've got any other ideas, Chris?
No, I thought that the C1 was my idea. I've not used it myself, but I've seen the results you had with it, and it does look particularly shiny.
Yep. Scale modeling channel Frankie B says airbrush Molotov chrome. You can get the Molotov chrome pens. You can decant them into an airbrush. That is really good stuff. The only problem is it's not very durable. If you put a fingerprint on it, it kind of screws up the finish, and you can't really gloss over it very well to protect it. So it depends. The C1 metallizers are much more durable. They're also similar powders from Ushi van der Rosen. I don't know where you get those. They're just as good. But yeah, the Molotov pens look really good, but they're a pain if you get a fingerprint on it to get it off. They're easily tarnished, and this stuff is totally hardcore. It's hard to take it off. And you can mask over that stuff as well. Even though it's a powder, it's quite sticky. It sticks really well.
George Taylor says, "What's the best 70s TV theme?" I vote for Barney Miller. I don't really remember many 70s TV themes.
Rockford Files.
Yeah, Primal says theme from SWAT, Rockford Files, and Hawaii Five-0.
Yeah, Rockford Files straight off. Rockford Files.
I mean, I vaguely remember a few shows, but not many of the themes are coming back to me. I mean, Kojak must have had a good theme, but I can't remember what it was.
Yeah. Well, I'm torn between Rockford Files and Starsky and Hutch, and I say Rockford Files. But then I've got the Fall Guy, but that's 80s, so it's not really in the equation, is it? Sprigly Radic says, check out Fox's shorts. Yeah, they're kind of silly. Did I stand up or something? I can't remember now.
Yeah, you went to get the chrome stuff from behind.
Oh, right. So. Yeah, they're kind of...
I was just happy that you were wearing shorts. But
yeah, there are pants. I can't wear my jeans because I've like a fool yesterday, I decided to fall off the back doorstep for no reason at all. I went outside to put something in the bin outside and decided to just go and fall over. Twisted one ankle, took a load of skin off my knee on the other leg, which was like being a kid again and falling off your bike and getting the road rash on your palm of your hand. It just kills. It really hurts. And so I've had to wear my shorts because I got these big like grazes on my knee and I can't put jeans on because it rubs against them and it's quite painful. So.
And it's still hot.
Yeah, it's still hot. Still
you
hot.
Want to wear more layers than you need to.
Yeah. Spruce Surgeon says Badger Steinal res. I assume that's about the primer. Yes, if you want a good primer, Ultimate Model Primer is available in the UK, as is Badger Steinal res and Ammo One Shot. They are all the same thing. Ammo One Shot.
eModels don't seem to have any black at the moment because I tried to get some myself last week and couldn't get any. So
if you need to get some, their gloss black primer is fantastic. As I say, if you're in the UK, it'll be Ultimate Primer because it's where you get it from. If you're in the US, it's Badger Steinal res, and if you're out in Europe, it's usually Ammo One Shot Primer. They are all the same product, just relabeled. They're all Badger Steinal res, relabeled in different territories. If you want to get some, it's a brilliant primer. If it's not in stock on the eModels website, just drop them an email, ask them when it'll be back in. Because they'll either be able to say it'll be back in and they'll give you an idea, and it's usually fairly quick, or they'll be able to get some in because they know you want it. And the best way to get stuff in stock if it's out of stock is to let them know you're after it, and then they can get the order in. So if you need to get some, it is fantastic. It's the best primer I've ever airbrushed. This or Badger Steinal res or the Ammo One Shot. It's all the same stuff. It's all fantastic. If you've airbrushed primers, just save yourself a lot of hassle and go for that. It's
George says, is that primer sandable? Absolutely.
Yes. Yep. It is sandable. It self levels like a devil. I can take something and I can get my airbrush and my method for applying that stuff, the UMP primer or Steinal res, is to get the object, to get my airbrush and go like this.
The sound effects are optional.
Yeah, it makes the sound. I've got a special filter on my airbrush that makes the noise, and I just go like that. I don't care that I don't do mist coats and stuff first. I do sometimes, but I might do a little quick mist coat to give a key coat, and then I'll just basically, like Ted, slap it on, because I know no matter how careless I get, unless I'm really careless and it's dripping off, it will self-level beautifully, and it does.
Yep.
So it's the easiest primer I've ever put on. It's a acrylic polyurethane based primer, but unlike some other leading brands, it can be sanded. It feathers nicely when you sand it. It's dirt. It's baby butt smooth when you spray it on. The gloss. If you watch my Eagle Transporter build, my eModels build series for the Eagle Transporter, when I did the engine bells, I did that method I gave before. I sprayed them in this, the gloss black. Then I put on the duraluminum, airbrushed on that, and then put on the C1 metallizer. When I sprayed these with the gloss black primer, the engine bells, they looked like shiny black plastic. It was that smooth. So that stuff is fantastic.
Yeah.
But it's got different names, different territories. It's also by just style my res.
Tony Blackwell says it's almost a shame to put paint over it. And in fact, the TIE Fighter that I was showing you earlier, that is the gloss black primer. I didn't put any paint over it because I just didn't need to, because it looks nice as it is, and it is, say, shiny. You probably can't see it properly on there. I can't do the zoomy thing without messing around with stuff, but it works. It's just shiny. It's lovely.
I mean, when I was working on my perfect grade Zaku, which I never finished, some of the black parts, like the bottom of the feet, which are black, I just primed them in the matte UMP primer, which is this one, not the gloss one. I primed them in this, and then I thought, I don't need to paint it. That's a perfect black color. Yep. It's smooth. It's totally smooth. Totally beautiful coverage. Self levels fantastically. I didn't need to paint it. I can work on that now. I can weather that as a black paint. And they have all different colors as well. So do go and check it out. It's wonderful stuff. Whichever of the 3 versions you get, they're all the same thing. It's just a different label on the bottle, basically.
Sprue Addict says, another question: Paul Daniels' Magic Show or the 2 Ronnies?
Oh, 2 Ronnies every time.
I don't know. I've always liked Magic. Magic's
yeah, but 2 Ronnies was funny, and Paul Daniels was.
It's still a bit funny.
Sprue Surgeon says the less said about Vallejo primer, the better.
Yeah, I've got a bottle of Vallejo primer up there because I can't bring myself to throw it away, but I also can't bring myself to use it.
Yeah. Some people do get good results out of it, but I'm like, that's just dark magic's going on there.
Yeah, there's not much point in trying with it when you've got something else that does the job better.
Fork Andal says Sprue Glue Addict. There you go, you've answered the question. Right, should we do some more? Should we do the giveaways and things and that?
We did some giveaways already.
Do what?
We did giveaways already. You gave stuff away.
We don't know last week's giveaway or this week's giveaway.
Oh, the actual real prize, not just stuff. Yeah, we got the gallery as well, haven't we?
Yeah, so I need to do screen sharing again, don't I?
Yeah,
I didn't press the wrong button. Then that could have gone horribly wrong.
Spinny Q8 says, for anyone who doesn't know, Chris does 1/44 scale. New viewers might think he's a giant when he holds up a model.
Yep. I have to report, by the way, Chris, because I met up with Dave from Butcher That Model and Dad, Mike Mountain, today, and Dave is taller than you.
No, he's not.
He is.
He's been lying about his height then.
Fork handles. Anyway, right. Let me lock the screen on me, and I'll screen share again. If you would keep an eye on the chat for me, Christoph.
Indeedy, I shall watch that like a hawk.
So, if you remember last week, the giveaway prize that we were giving away was this totally adorable M4A1 Sherman from Meg Model. It's the Pinky World War II Sherman. So it's this delightful pink Sherman with slightly lavender color tracks, let's say. Slightly lavender color tracks, and it's totally adorable. It doesn't come with the Chewbacca. And we asked you to put a comment on the video, on the show from last week. And I can't remember what the comment was.
Oh, you got a picture of me with a tube.
I think it was a comment about cats. Yeah, you're holding up a tube in a rather suggestive manner. We asked you to make a comment about cats, just a fact about cats. Could be
cat facts.
Yeah, cat fact. Could be made up, could be absolutely factual. We didn't really mind. So we had 28 comments on there. So it's just time for us to randomly pick a random comment from that YouTube video using our random YouTube comment picker. So I shall take the URL and I shall paste it into the random comment picker. Load all the comments. And this is the one that when Chris was doing the giveaways and stuff, he couldn't find the website that I used. This is the one I used.
Yeah.
So it does a bit of an animation and stuff before it delays when we press the button. So shall we find out who's won a rather adorable pink tank? Now, these might possibly be out of stock. When we mentioned it on last week's show, they kind of sold out instantly. So yeah. It may be whoever wins this.
It'll be a while before they came back in stock, but they might also be back in stock already.
Yeah, so whoever wins this, it might be a week or two. If they're not in stock now, it might be a week or two before we actually get it sent out to you, but we've asked them to keep one behind. So
Spitty Q8 says, "Gosh darn, I do believe I forgot to comment, and I have some great cat facts."
ugh. Right, now we have to wonder, did Spruglu add comment on this?
Yeah,
Right, so
it did and said I don't win anything.
yeah, he probably did as well. Right, let's randomly pick a winner, shall we? So we shall go in 3, 2, 1. Phil Kett says cats. Does that count as a cat fact?
Yeah, cats are true. So
it's not really a fact, but it'll do. It's a statement, more of a fact. Well done, Phil Kett. So yes, you have won yourself this totally manly, not that one. That's because that's Chris. This totally manly pink.
Hey.
Totally manly and adorable pink Sherman tank with the cats all over it. Brilliant. Well done. So just send an email to ted@emodels.co.uk with your name and address and put down that you won the Meng pink Sherman tank.
Spruglu Addict says ...
Yeah. Please refer the honourable member to my earlier comments. You got to be in it to win it, dude.
Cats are weird. When I go around my friends, she'll cry, meow, go crazy, etc., until I let her lick my nose.
What about the cat?
What about the cat?
Oh, yeah. I just followed your consent, didn't I? Sorry, dude. Great minds think alike. So how we did that, I do not know. Right, so
George Flauter says, "Congratulations, Sprue." Oh, Phil.
Sprue, one day, mate. One day, if you actually put the right answer in and put a comment on the video, yeah, we'll get you. We'll get you one day.
Yeah.
Right. So anyway, that was last week's giveaway. It's time to find out now what we're doing for this week. Now, before we do that, because it wouldn't make any sense if I show you what we're giving away this week before we show you the gallery winner, which is kind of slightly related. Am I just talking rubbish now? Actually, I am completely, aren't I?
Yeah, pretty much. Because
we changed everything.
Make sure you get the right one, because you don't want to get the other one, because that'll be the other thing.
Okay. Well, before we do that, it's all gone wrong because we changed everything at the last minute. So I'll shut up. Before we do that, we need to do the gallery giveaway. So do you want to do the lowdown on the gallery giveaway, and then I'll say what we've won or who's won?
Okay. Well, what do you mean? To tell people what they do and what they have done?
Do you want to explain it all? So
I shall do the gallery spiel if I remember it.
So I'm not doing all the talking, basically.
Okay. Basically, it's the eModels gallery. I assume the website is emodels.co.uk/gallery.
Yep. /gallery. It's on the main.
Put slashes in all directions, and sooner or later one of them will work. And that's the one you need to go to. Or you could just go to the eModels site and click the bit at the top that says gallery. That's probably the easiest way. Basically, it's your kits. Put up a model of a completed kit. Doesn't have to be bought from eModels. Could be anywhere, any kit you like. There's different departments to put it into, if it's sci-fi or tanks or planes or figures or boats, pretty much anything you like. And there's even something for miscellaneous, I think, if it doesn't fit into any category. Put your completed build up there, put a little bit about it, and basically it's there for people to see and approve of your work. You also need to get it reviewed by your peers, because we don't look at them until they've actually got like a 5-star rating. So while you're putting your model up, go and have a look around some others and rate them. If you like them, rate them, and they stand the chance of winning next month.
Cool.
That's pretty much it.
Thank you very much. So yes, so each month, at the start of each month, the first if possible, or near the start, we'll go through all the ones that have 5-star ratings, reviewed by you guys, 5-star reviews, and we'll pick one that tickles our fancy. Now, we don't necessarily go for the most technically proficient, just to make it clear. We don't go for the best painted model in the world. We go for more one that makes us sit there and go, I like that. That's kind of it. We don't care if it's professionally painted, if it's painted by a 7-year-old, if it's painted by a 20-year-old. It could be an absolute beginner that's painted it. It could be something that's half painted but just detailed. It's more just the vibe of it. So sometimes it'll be something that looks like it could be in a museum. Sometimes it could be something that doesn't look like it's in a museum, because we don't technically judge it like that. So
yeah, when you're taking your picture, think about how you're going to light it and where it's going to be. If you're going to do it outside, inside, nice background. It's something that's going to catch our eye and make us think, I like that.
Yeah, and the reason we say that every time is because we don't want you to sit there and think, well, I'm not very good, so there's no point me trying to enter it or put it in there because I'll never win, because I'm not like somebody who wins a model show. Doesn't matter. It could be a completely unpainted gunpla or anything like that. It's just something that we see and go, I like that. Don't think you can't join because you're not a professional modeler. We don't judge it based on that. We just like to see people having fun. So I shall lock and share screen again. And the winner is Phil Kett. Only joking. Yes, we went through the gallery this time, had a little debates and conversations. And this time we decided that the winner would be this rather very nice. It is a Sam Feinstein Shelby Cobra, and it is by David Hirakawa, who has put this beauty together. It looks fantastic. What caught our eye was just a really nice glossy paint job, the really sort of smooth, well. I don't know if he's just done an absolutely fantastic paint application and got that done first time, or whether it's the standard sort of paint application and then he's done lots of wet sanding and lacquer glosses and things like that. So I don't know the process he's used, but it doesn't really matter because it looks fantastic. And in this case, it is a fantastically well done model that just took us not by surprise, but we thought that's really nice. That, and he's also photographed it in such a way that it's nice. It's got some good contrast. It's got the shadow on there. There's nothing in the background cluttering it out. It just focuses on the model. It looks beautiful. I don't know it is a Revell. He says it's a Cobra from Revell. Don't know the scale. I'm going to guess.
Tony Blackwell says that's the Revell kit, I think.
Yeah, 124th, probably 125th. I'm guessing if it's a Revell. But yeah, that looks fantastic. He's done a really brilliant job on that. So absolutely brilliant. So David Hirakawa, well done. You are the gallery winner. You need to send an email to ted@emodels.co.uk to say that you have won the gallery for this month. And what you have won is this. You've won the 124th Mitsubishi Montero with sport options. So just say that you've won the Mitsubishi Montero and the code number is #24124. That's your prize. That's what you've won for the gallery giveaway.
Yeah, I want to see it painted in exactly the same style. Yeah,
we want the flames, Cabron. We want the flames down the side. It's also a really nice color. It's a beautiful color. It's a beautiful deep green. That's also what caught our eye. It's a beautiful deep green. And it's an outstanding job. As I say, whether he's just been incredibly talented with the paint finish, or whether he's gone to all the effort of sanding and wet sanding and micro meshing and stuff, then it's incredible. So it's a really nice piece of work there. So David, send Ted an email, ted@emodels.co.uk. Tell him you've won the gallery for August and you've won #24124, the Mitsubishi Montero. That is yours to claim. So well done. Well done. Have I missed any comments while we've been doing that?
No, I think well, Ted's put back in. He says to remind everybody, if anyone knows of any events taking place or shout outs, to send him an email. He obviously hasn't had any this week, so don't forget to give Ted a shout at ted@emodels.co.uk. Any events or things upcoming that you want us to mention, and say if any birthdays, weddings, anything like that you want to shout out to, we're all happy to do that as well.
Yep. Michael Jackman says for a Revell kit, that is great. That's the thing about Revell is, I mean, I sometimes complain, well, I quite often complain about Revell kits, but I'm usually going on about their sci-fi stuff, which is generally lacking. When it comes to things like cars and boats, they can actually be really, really good. Especially a lot of their curbside car kits and things like that. They are well known for their car kits. That's where they kind of focus their efforts. So you can get some really fantastic Revell car kits. I mock them, but that's usually for sci-fi stuff because it's not that great.
Yeah, a lot of their branded sci-fi stuff is more toy related than model related.
But when it comes to
but yeah, I'd say the tugs that I'm doing are Revell kits. They're great. No problems with them too.
Yep. Some of their curb, and they're not all curbside kits, but they do specialize in like curbside car kits and stuff. They are fantastic.
So Jamie Bone says it's my uncle's birthday next Sunday.
Yay! So, well, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Mr. Bone, probably, maybe. Yep.
Happy birthday, Jamie Bone's uncle, next Sunday. We shall sing happy birthday next Monday, a day after. Right. So anyway, that's the gallery done. So what we need to look at now is what we are giving away this month.
This week, even
this month, yes, this week even. So anyway, yes, for the gallery, if you've not used it before, get uploading pictures of your builds. Just keep it to finished builds, not work in progress. You can do, but we wouldn't look at work in progress shots. You don't need to put lots of pictures in there. Just one is fine. You can do more if you want. Get uploading pictures and get reviewing other people's works, because if you review other people's stuff, they'll pay it back and they'll review yours. And the more you review, the more they'll review yours. And we'll look for those with 5-star reviews. So anyway, let's move on to what are we giving away this week. This week, we are giving away, in the great giveaway of this week, we are going to give you, for this week's prize, I'm drawing this out now, aren't I?
Sorry, was that meant to be me saying, what are we giving away this week, Fox?
Yeah, I was kind of hoping there'd be a bit of a link there, but never mind. Anyway, yes, we have. This week, we are giving away the Trumpeter 135th. There's a thing sticking up on the screen. Get off. Get off. Hang on. Go away. We are giving away.
Accidentally order it.
I know, nearly. Trumpeter 135th JG-SDF Type 75-155mm. That doesn't sound right. It's not 75,155mm. That's a big gun. I think somebody done a bit of a typo there.
It's like no,
it must be 75mm. I thought it was gone a bit weird there. You're self-propelled 155mm. Wait, I don't know. Anyway, it's a self-propelled. It's a big gun with wheels. It's the 135th Trumpeter self-propelled howitzer. This looks fantastic. It'll have the usual Trumpeter attention to detail, and the usual Trumpeter lots of tiny parts that will challenge you but be awesome. Full color detail, color callouts, and lots of tiny parts, which is, if you've built a Trumpeter armor kit before, you know it's all about the tiny parts. But they are fantastic to build. They go together beautifully. They are very precise. I've never had a better flash on a Trumpeter kit. You can't go wrong with a Trumpeter kit, basically. You can't go wrong.
People do seem to be happy with the choice of price.
Yes.
Joanna Hammond says, okay, that I'm interested in. Michael Jackman says, now that's worth winning.
Yep.
Matt was Metally texting in South Wales, says, nice prize. And Phil East says, nice. I'll not be forgetting to enter this one.
Yeah. Now, Sprue thingy surgeon. Oh, who am I talking to? Sprue Glue Addict. Are you going to enter? Is Sprue Glue Addict going to enter? That's the thing.
That's the thing. Tony Blackwell says, type 75, 155mm.
Yeah. Now, there's a fact here. This could be correct. I don't know, but it says total parts 770 plus.
Ooh.
That wouldn't surprise me for a Trumpeter kit, but it does seem surprising.
Tracks in it. There's probably 700 of them are tracks.
Yeah, that's true. It's got metal parts, gun barrel, copper cable, photo etch parts 1, 5 sprues, upper hull, lower hull, and tracks. Let's have a look. Consists of over 770 parts. The kit with refined detail, multi-slide, molded turret, and lower hull, and photo etch parts included. So yes. So if you want to win this awesome kit, it looks like quite a big puppy as well. Bit of modern armor for you, or sort of modern armor, not World War II vintage. All you need to do is, as always, put a comment on this week's show when it's a video. So wait till the show is finished, give it 10 or 15 minutes till the stream is completed. Then it'll just be a normal video on the eModels YouTube channel. Go to it and just put a comment on the video. And I shall let Chris choose what comment you should need to put. What should they put, Chris?
Okay, well, we had cap facts last week, didn't we? Can we have tank facts?
Tank facts.
There must be some tank facts out there. Yeah.
So basically, just put down a comment that is a fact about tanks. It can be made up. It can be true. The more silly, the better, because it gives us a laugh, gives us a good giggle.
Yep.
So yeah, come up with some kind of tank fact. It could just be a cat fact and replace the word cat with tank. Doesn't matter. If your tank always come up and like rub against your leg, then that's probably we'll know it's a cat fact.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, it's the Japanese self-defense force. Somebody said in the comments it is the JG-SDF, Japanese self-defense force, because they're not allowed to have an army in Japan. They have a self-defense force. And that's all they're allowed to have.
Is that the real? Oh, okay.
Yes, although I think they're looking to change it. But the Japanese people themselves kind of don't want an army. They just want a force to defend themselves, but they can only be used for self-defense, apparently.
That sounds fair. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Spruger Addict has actually got an announcement as well. He says, a lady in my street is 100 years old on Thursday.
Oh, well, give a happy birthday from us. That's brilliant. Now, where's that comment? I haven't seen that.
That was a little bit about a page up.
Oh, I thought my chat had maybe fallen over. Now, so yeah, so all you need to do is wait till this show is finished, give it 10 minutes, find the video for this week's show, and stick a comment on there with an awesome tank fact. That's all you need to do. So I shall stop sharing that.
What was the name of this week's video? I don't remember.
This week's video is called Never Say No to a Nice Reverse Wash.
Okay.
I just make them up now.
So we know what to find.
Yeah. The difficulty is if it was, say, a podcast that we didn't do live, we could take a relevant fact from whatever we talked about and make that the title. But if we do it live, we don't know what we're going to talk about.
So what we should really do then is to work in the title into the show. That'd be the clever way of doing it.
No, it requires thinking. We don't do thinking.
Difficult.
That requires planning, and we don't do that.
Yeah, I don't say that.
Preparation is not one of the things we do.
Frugal Addict says, "Of course I'll win it, Fox. I win everything."
John Newton says his daughter is 28 today, so we need to sing happy birthday in that case. Are we ready?
Well, we've got to find out a name. We can't.
Oh yes,
John Newton's daughter won't fit in.
Yes, John Newton, can you give us your daughter's name, please, so we can sing happy birthday? Mrs. Reese, happy 100th birthday, says Sprue Addict. She's called Mrs. Reese. Or should we sing Mrs. Reese happy birthday then?
Well, we can do both of them.
Okay, so we just need to find out what John Newton's.
I'm not singing it twice.
100 years old. There's people still. Oh, she's called Jennifer.
Okay.
So it's Jennifer and Mrs. Reese.
Jennifer and Mrs. Reese. Okay.
Yeah, are we ready?
Are we as ready as we're ever going to get, I should think.
Okay.
No, I'm not ready yet, won't it?
Yeah, good idea.
No gargling because
Right, okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. I hope Ted's singing as well. You've got to sing as well. Ted's got to sing in chat.
Me? Oh, Ted. Yeah, Ted's got to do it. Take ages.
Right, it's Jennifer and Mrs. Okay.
Jennifer and Mrs. Reese.
Jennifer and Mrs. Reese, 100.
Ready?
I'll just make sure there's nobody else been added, but I will get them ready. No, there we go. Okay, so it's happy birthday
to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jennifer and Mrs.
Reese, who's 100 today. Get in.
Happy birthday to you.
Yay! 100 years old.
There we go.
Do people still get telegrams?
I'm sure they do.
They probably do. From the Queen, I mean, not just telegrams randomly.
But yeah, I mean, I assume that. I think that's the only time telegrams are ever used.
Yes,
but...
I did actually send a telegram to my friend once as a joke, and I had to go to some company in Australia that sends sort of fake telegrams because there's no real. Apparently, the last telegram service was in India, and it was closed down a few years ago.
How does the Queen do it then?
Birthday. Jacob's birthday tomorrow.
Oh, how old is it?
14.
My nephew Jacob is 14 tomorrow.
We'll put in the Jacob in the edit and.
Oh, no, I have to sing it again now. I'll get told off for that.
Ted says, I've sung it already and you hadn't started.
Okay, yeah, I see. Is that how it goes? Okay, so it's my nephew, so I'll sing it. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jacob.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you.
And Frugal Addict says, hello, Mummy Fox.
Yes, that was Mama Fox who reminded me of that. You have to request the card telegram, and it's quite underwhelming. Yes, I think there's no official telegram service. But anyway, yes, I did this fake telegram. My mate, the friend at the time, couldn't sing. So I sent him a telegram saying, "Dear Phil, stop. Please stop." That was it. Because he couldn't sing. And
I thought because you got charged per word or something.
Yeah, it doesn't really work when you explain it.
John says, thanks, guys. I'll let Jen hear it.
Yes, cool. You probably don't want to.
You could have told us it was just Jen. That would have been easier to put in.
Joanna Hammond says, is Mama Fox camera shy? Mama Fox never appears on camera.
Well, apart from that one
an
time.
arm with a duster might appear on camera. That was wonderful. Pure X Factor material. Yeah.
X something, yeah.
Yes. Right, so I think we've done everything. I think we've done everything, haven't we? Ted, have we forgotten something, Ted? Yeah, let us know if we've forgotten something, Ted. So we've done the giveaway for next week, done last week's giveaway, done the gallery.
Done stickers and mug.
Yeah, I think we've done everything.
I think we've done.
80s TV.
Yeah, that popped in there somewhere.
Yeah, we've sung badly.
Yeah, twice, mostly.
I know, it's unprecedented.
Yeah.
Well, I think that. Apparently, she says she hates being called just Jen.
That's
I'm getting interfered with.
Stop doing it. So I think she's all right. She can come in a bit further because it's dark in that corner today.
Yeah, nah, she won't. The thing is, I know where that duster lives. It lives in a dusty corner, and it very rarely gets used, but it's often used to catch spiders. So it's not that fun for my ear getting that thing stuck in it.
Nate Bliss says, hi guys, just remembered it's Monday.
Yay, welcome Nate Bliss. We're just about to go. Give it 10 minutes. You can start from the beginning.
Yep.
Sprue Gladic says you forgot to give me a prize. Damn. Maybe next week.
To answer the correct questions correctly.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I think we can call it a show there, I think, matey.
Yeah, we've done that.
Cool. Well, thank you to everyone who has been watching. Have you got anything on this week then, Chris? The model building wise, I've got nothing apart from maybe getting at the workbench.
I'm going to put the rest of this plaster down over the course of the week. I'm actually going away this weekend, so I'm not going to be doing very much.
You're going somewhere nice and sunny?
It's going to be raining apparently this weekend, so I'm still only in the UK. I'm heading up to North Wales.
Oh,
there's an owl sanctuary that we're going to go and visit apparently.
Oh, cool. Maybe you'll see Matty's metal detecting.
Might be. No, is he South Wales?
I don't know. It's not Wales. It's like people that
it's one of the Wales.
It's like when an American says, "Oh, you're English. Do you know the Queen?"
Yeah, no, I've just seen it. It says Matty's metal detecting South Wales. So no, I won't be seeing it because I'm in North Wales.
Well, it's only some miles. It's only some.
I'll be going past, but yeah. So no, I'm not going to be doing very much building this week because I'm going to be away for the days that I normally can do building when I'm not working. So yeah, I'll probably have less to show next week than you.
Yeah, I've had nothing to show this week really. Yeah, well, have a good holiday, matey. Have a good week in North Wales. North Wales is nice. It's a nice country, Wales. I've been all over Wales. It's a beautiful country. Anyway, let's call it a show. So it just remains for me to thank everyone who's been watching. Thank you so much as ever. Don't forget to comment on this week's show in about 50 minutes if you want to win that awesome self-propelled howitzer. I had to read it. There's apparently 75,155 millimeters. That's a big gun. That's a big gun. 75,000 millimeters. That's a big gun.
It's like 1.5 miles or something.
Yeah. Don't forget to get your pictures uploaded to the gallery, emodels.co.uk/gallery, or it's on the menu. You can see it as an option in gallery. And if you anything in the What's in Store tickled your fancy, don't forget to go and grab it ASAP because it's probably already sold out if you don't. So it just remains for me to thank Chris for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
And Ted, who's in the chat. Stay chill, Ted, and get better soon. We'll keep everybody.
He said I had a problem remembering days. Yeah, but you got a good excuse for it.
Yeah, he's got the best excuse now. He's allowed to get away with that now. We can't. Yeah, but anyway, it just remains for me to thank everybody who's watching, and we will see you all again next week. So take care of yourselves. Go make something awesome. Go be awesome. And until next time, adios, amoebas.
Night, night.